Hey everybody, movie fan Z here. So it's been a little while since I've done reviews, but I'm going to be giving you a couple reviews. First one is going to be from a movie from 1989, and that is the romantic comedy Say Anything. So in this movie, you are introduced to Lloyd, played by John Cusack, who's just an average, everyday guy, a high school graduate who falls in love with the female valedictorian Diane, played by Ione Skye. And just like with a lot of rom coms, it's a lot of the opposites attract kind of method. So you get to go through their journeys of ups and downs. Also, a lot of stuff with her dad and his overprotectiveness. But let's get into this movie. So I think this is an average movie for me. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, and I didn't really remember much about it except for the one scene, which I will say is a little overplayed right now. By now, it's the only thing people know about this movie, and it's an okay scene now, but I think there's some good things, and I think there's some not great things in here. I think the acting isn't great, but I think John Cusack and Ione Skye do their best with what they're given. And I just think the rest of the acting is okay. The other thing I like is I like that this is a different version of the typical trope that you see. Usually, in 95% of these movies, it's a nerdy guy who pines for the popular girl. This one is an average guy who pines for the valedictorian. So I like that change for it. But let's get into some negatives. Like I already said, the acting isn't great. It's okay. The story is okay. But I think the biggest negative that I have with this movie is the secondary story. So you have a secondary story that deals a lot with the dad. But I feel like after a while, that kind of pushes the Lloyd and Diane romantic story and their story. I feel like that kind of pushes it to the back, and you focus more on this story that I feel is kind of unnecessary, and I feel like the dad is in too much of this movie. This movie should be more about Lloyd and Diane, and I feel like the dad takes up a good amount of this movie. So overall, I'm just going right in the middle, pretty much. I'm I'm going a 3 out of 5. Like I said, it's a okay movie, but the other thing I wanted to add is it's considered a romantic comedy, and I don't really consider it much of that. I consider it kind of just a romantic drama, kind of like what you get decades later with The Notebook. But that is my review for 1989's Say Anything. Come back next time for another review. This is Movie Fan Z signing off. Have a good night.